and some of the material.
14, Period Gloria.
Exactly, 420, yada, yada, yada. But what we want to do is put this one bud of vinifera, whether that be Viognier or Marsanne or Mourvedre or Syrah, onto this cane of rootstock. So you start with the French stuff on the right side of the machine, kind of hold it in place, make your first cut. You can see why they call it an omega graft. It's essentially like a puzzle piece, like the Greek alphabet omega sign. And you can see that it's holding on to it over here as well, the machine.
Female side. So you made a male here, right?
Exactly. And then you take the rootstock, you put it on the opposite side of the machine. Sorry. And it puts the two together for you. You can kind of see the different color in the wood.
And do you wrap it?
So you don't actually wrap it from here. It's pretty interesting. Damn. So basically from here,
that is pretty cool.
You just take a bunch of those, and you've got bins that are not dissimilar to this, but they're a little bit taller, and they've got a bunch of holes poked in them. And you just lay down a row horizontally of a bunch of those, and you kind of mix in and layer in soil mixture, vermiculite, peat moss, all that kind of stuff. And you take these bins and you put them in a room, which is back in that building called a callus room. It's kept at 85 degrees, 85% humidity, and you literally just leave these bins sitting there for about 4 to 6 weeks. You pull them out and you're looking for good, healthy scar tissue to have developed around that graft union. They call it a callus. If it looks like you've got a good, healthy callus that's developed, they then get dipped in a wax and potted. So the wax kind of helps seal the callus, and there's also a growth hormone in there that kind of helps produce that first bud, or push that first bud. They spend about 3 to 5 weeks in each greenhouse. Each greenhouse lets in a bit more light, kind of further simulating an outdoor environment. You kind of go through and you check their root development. If they continue to develop in terms of roots, you move them from one greenhouse to the next. If everything goes well in those 3, they then get put here in the shade houses. Well, they essentially kind of spend their spring. There's good kind of mitigation systems in here for the frost. They'll hang out in here. And then in this neck of the woods, if you're going to go ahead and put in kind of a pushing vine, they typically go in ground late June. Frost is done, they've got enough of a kind of a head start on the growing season, so when the first fall frost comes, theoretically they've thrown down enough roots to kind of withstand it. You always do get some kill, but basically there was a lot of this going on the first 4 to 5 years.
This is also known as muscle selections.
Exactly.
Because you're selecting from your own
Also known
stock.
as what, Michael?
Massel, M-A-S-S-A-L.
And that's what we're actually in the process of doing right now, basically, is kind of, they're pursuing this idea of doing kind of like some of our best clones and singling those out from the best producing areas and really kind of focusing in on, okay, this particular block of Grenache seed that we've got growing here is incredible. Year in, year out, let's start singling some of those out so that when we begin reestablishing, replanting, exactly.
So how long did you say that ultimately the propaganda process